Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor, and I'm very moved to be here to introduce our great speaker of today. Congratulations to you all on having given up a sunny Saturday morning, a rare enough event in the Kingdom of the Netherlands. And I can't greet you all adequately, but I do see colleagues from the university, I see the city councils, I see many students, I see artists, and I see normal citizens. And your large number really is a testimonial to the great respect, admiration, and affection that surrounds the work and the figure of Professor Bruno Latour. In case you didn't know, and I think if you really want a lesson in humility, do have a look at Professor Latour's Wikipedia page, but do pour a gin and tonic before, because it is quite something. Professor Latour is currently professor at the very venerable institution of Sciences Po in Paris, where he's also the scientific director of the Media Lab. He's also centennial professor at another venerable institution, the London School of Economics. The string of books that Bruno Latour has been authoring over the last 20, 30 years has simply marked intellectual history and social thinking in a variety of areas, from philosophy to the obvious one, history and philosophy of science, but also, as we will see in a minute, in the art world, and again, in normal citizenship debates about what needs to be done. So 1979, laboratory life, 1988, pasteurization of France. I know some students in the audience did their MAs on this, and they are going to ask for that MA to be actually autographed by the great man if they can get close to him at the end. The first real hit comes in 1993, with We Have Never Been Modern, where Latour, who is in French, would be described as un penseur qui nous empêche de penser en rond. Is somebody that actually, an anomalous thinker who challenges established ideas. So in the middle of the postmodernism fad, Latour publishes We Have Never Been More Modern, when actually received ideas about modernism, anti-modernism, postmodernism are recast in a very vibrant and sort of contestatory mode. Science in Action follows, 87, one of the textbooks of the sociology of scientific knowledge. I think that ideas that made the beginning of this great phase of Latour's work is that science is a socially constructed activity, and that it cannot be said to have an existence as outside specific instruments that measure and interpret the practices of scientists. In other words, scientific activity is taken as a system of beliefs, oral traditions, culturally specific practices. It's an ethnographic approach to the practice of science with an extremely careful attention to semiotic and representational practices. That Latour is rightly celebrated as the primary developer of ACTA network theory, a social constructivist approach, but that's a sort of a shortcut, that has been extremely influential in making science and technology approachable to many other disciplines. And this anthropology of science approach forces us to question our mental landscape. And this is where, almost against his own will, Latour becomes of great philosophical interest. He evaluated the scientific methods by which we produce knowledge, blurring the distinctions across the disciplines. In 2004, he published the first book on the politics of nature, and from there on, that topic became more central to the current work on the Anthropocene that we will hear more about today. If you want a summary of Bruno Latour's concepts of social theory, in 2005 he published Reassembling the Social, an introduction to ACTA network theory, which I recommend greatly. Now fasten your seatbelts. The list of awards and honors that have rightly gone in the direction of Professor Latour is stunning. Honorary degrees from a variety of universities, Lund, Lausanne, Montreal, Gothenburg, Warwick. In 2005, he was on our very own Spinoza chair at the University of Amsterdam, and some of you may still be rocking from that event. He's a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, and he's been the recipient of 2008, the Siegfried Unzel Prize for Life Achievement in Frankfurt, 2009, the Kultur Prize from the University of Munich, the European Research Council Senior Award. Now that is as close as you can get to the Nobel Prize, except that Bruno Latour will get a lot closer, because in 2013 he's awarded the Holberg Memorial Prize, which is the Nobel Prize for the humanities and social sciences. In between, La Légion d'honneur came to him from the French government. He has delivered the Guildford Lectures on Natural Theology in Edinburgh in 2013, the Tanner Lectures at Yale University in 2014. And if you're feeling bad and belittled by now, give an affirmative spin to all of this and learn how being an anomaly and an iconoclast actually can build you a brilliant career. Let this be a model of contestatory thinking in the affirmative mode. Don't get depressed, although keep those gin and tonics going. Because of his great sensitivity to the questions of representation and culture, Bruno Latour has had a huge following in the art world. He has served as curators of successful art exhibitions. For instance, in Karlsruhe, they became hit events, Iconoclash in 2002, Making Things Public in 2005. His compositionist manifesto, my dear colleague Maria Lavayova tells me, has iconic status in the art world. Ever sensitive to the role and the social responsibility of the thinker, in a lengthy article in 2004, Latour questioned the fundamental premises on which he based his career, saying, can we continue to do theory? How do we do critical theory today in the highly technologically mediated era of the Anthropocene? And he questions the relevance of doing theory for theory's sakes and argues that to regain any credibility, the social critique of sciences must embrace empiricism. Bruno Latour encouraged us to abandon the idea that science is about incontrovertible and indisputable facts. Science is rather about producing, through the institutions of many disciplines and the monitoring of many instruments, robust access to a great number of entities with which our polity, our social space has to be built. In this view, both science and politics are rather humble, frail, and pedestrian activities open to doubt, to revision, and to mistakes, which are actually as important for their vulnerability as they are for their incredible robustness and centrality. I think he is one of a kind, and I really am so honored and privileged that he has chosen to come to us on this sunny Saturday morning. Make him feel welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Bruno Latour.